One Nation leader Pauline Hanson says she doesn't regret being interviewed by controversial far-right commentator Tommy Robinson. Political reporter Claudia Long joins us now with more from Parliament House in Canberra. Claudia, tell us about the criticism that Pauline Hanson has copped over this and what she has had to say in response to it.
So Pauline Hanson has essentially defended her appearance on the far-right podcast of Tommy Robinson while she's been overseas around Europe and in the UK. So she's copped a bit of criticism, a fair bit in fact, from the left and the right, including the opposition and the government. She said that she can essentially speak to whoever she wants and do interviews with whomever she wants. Now, to give you an idea of how controversial Tommy Robinson is, not only because of his anti-migrant and anti-Muslim views, but also because of his criminal record. He has jail sentences for fraud and assault. People like Nigel Farage, who leads Reform UK, himself often described as a controversial right-wing figure, have sought to distance themselves from people like Tommy Robinson, in fact saying that while he supports Pauline Hanson, he wouldn't have necessarily gone on the Tommy Robinson podcast. But here's what Pauline Hanson had to say last night on Spotlight on 7.
I'm not going to back away from this whatsoever. I met Tommy and I listened to what he's trying to tell me.
And she's also had to clarify some of the comments she made. Tell us about that.
That's right. So Pauline Hanson has put up a video saying that she is against the White Australia policy. Now, the reason that she's ended up doing that is because when she was asked on the podcast where she thought Australia's migration problem started, she started her answer by saying, well, it goes back to 1973, essentially, which is when the White Australia policy was dismantled. Eventually, it had been dismantled over a number of years leading up to that, but that was when it finally ended. Now, she's clarified that she does not support the White Australia policy. Her MPs have also clarified that today. Barnaby Joyce, one of the One Nation's lower house members, has said the party does not support the White Australia policy, but that hasn't stopped the government and the opposition both still being critical of that podcast appearance. Here's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese earlier today in Darwin.
I find it astonishing that Pauline Hanson has travelled overseas in order to denigrate and talk down Australia. What we need to do as public representatives is take our responsibility seriously. When I'm overseas, I talk Australia up. Pauline Hanson has travelled overseas to engage in various activities with fringe people and to talk Australia down. I don't think that's appropriate.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese there. And on the other side of politics, Angus Taylor, the opposition leader, has also been critical of Pauline Hanson.
I just don't think she has any of the answers. I mean, we have an economic crisis that the Prime Minister and his team has brought about, and One Nation doesn't have the solutions. We know their top few policies would drive up inflation, drive up interest rates by 3% or more, and make life harder for Australians. One Nation is a one-person show, as I said, and it is not fit to govern, and they don't have the policies that will get us out of that crisis.
Opposition leader Angus Taylor there. And we're expecting a bit more discussion and political debate out of this interview with Pauline Hanson on Channel 7 last night, because she was also asked what she made of plans of one UK group who say that they are advocating for mass deportations of migrants. Now, initially her response to that question was that she loved it, but she's in that same interview then walked that back a bit, saying that she would only support something like that in Australia if it applied to people who were here illegally. But nonetheless, Gemma, I think that's probably going to be a discussion point here in Canberra, but we'll bring you more when we have more on that debate.
Claudia Long at Parliament House, thank you.